I'm Kat Iniba, and thank you so much for tuning in to Halo Halo, your one stop for the latest in entertainment news and lifestyle features. Right now, we talk about diet myths, we talk about the effects of sugar and how to live a long-lasting life. Here to tell us more is Dr. Amy Lee. Welcome, Dr. Amy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Now, I understand that sugar plays an important role, or cutting sugar, I should say, in having a longer life, right?
I agree. There's many types of sugars that we come across. And so I think the main sugar that we want to really address and talk about really comes down to refined sugars or processed sugars.
Okay. Is there like a certain amount of sugar that you can reach per day, if that makes any sense?
Yes. There's actually many different recommendations. For example, the 2015 to 2020 U.S. Dietary Guidelines states that someone shouldn't max or shouldn't eat more than 10% of their caloric intake daily.
Oh my gosh,
added
that just went over my head. Tell me more.
Which actually means it comes down to about 50 grams of sugar. And that's equivalent to about 12 teaspoons of sugars.
Wow.
Now, a bottle of 20-ounce soda pop, it's about, could have as much as 14 teaspoons of sugar in just one bottle. So you can overdrink and overeat your sugars if you don't know what you're really eating.
Right. There's also hidden places where sugar is at.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. I understand that you're also an advisor to SugarChecked. I want to know more about this.
Well, SugarChecked is an app that you can download for free on your phone, where you can actually learn how to sort of decipher what's in your food by basically logging on, and it checks onto your barcode of your food product that you come across at a supermarket, and then it tells you exactly what types of sugars, added sugars, are in a product that you're looking at, and then you can understand exactly how much more sugars are you actually really eating. And the app is great because it actually sort of breaks down exactly what different words are used in how they address sugars.
Right.
So there are many different terminology for just simple table sugar.
Oh my gosh.
Besides just regular added sugars, we also come across artificial sweeteners as well as sugar alcohol.
Right.
All these different types of sugar can go into one product.
Oh, ding.
Exactly.
Now, why is it important to cut sugar?
Well, sugars in general, like I said, it's found in everything. But the good stuff really comes down to your sugars from fruits and vegetables.
Right.
Whereas your refined and processed sugars are sugars that has been processed and has gone through some kind of heat or some kind of enzymatic processing that basically has concentrated the sugar to a point where when you eat it, it plays a huge role in what it does to your body.
Right.
So there are sugars that actually get processed quickly into your gut, or it goes through your liver and eventually gets stored into your adipose tissue or your fat tissue. That's where the problem arises, because if you have a lot of fat tissue, for example, that actually translates to what we call inflammation. And that really adds on to comorbid conditions like your diabetes, high blood pressure, cardiovascular risk, as well as gout, which a lot of my clients do have. And some people, some cultures are actually predisposed and have higher risk of gout.
Yeah, I read like a alarming statistic where it's like roughly 1/3 of Americans are either diabetic or going to be dealing.
Exactly. You know, we have a lot of patients who are diabetic, but there are also a big handful of patients who don't know that they have diabetes, because diabetes is an asymptomatic condition. You don't feel you know, the effects of diabetes until sometimes when it's too late. You know, when you go in and see your physician for your physical exam, a lot of times that's when they notice that, hey, you got elevated sugars, and this is something that they want to address at the time. Or you come back in 2 years from the visit and realize, oh my gosh, your sugar is now this high versus 2 years ago. So it's important to go in and actually see your physicians for physical exams once a year.
Go see your physician, get a physical exam once a year, check out the SugarChecked app, right?
The SugarChecked app, I think, is very useful, and it's free.
And it's free.
So it's one of those additional tools that you have when you are grocery shopping. A lot of times we learn this idea of reading labels. Right. But a lot of times, well, what are we really reading?
I look at a label, or I'll turn like the cereal box around. I'm thinking, okay, I'm reading it, but now what? Right.
There's a little trick into reading the label as well. You know, you look at the calories per serving, as well as the protein and the fiber. And in reality, if you don't see any proteins or fiber in the product that you want to buy, likely it's all sugar.
Yeah.
And if you actually look at the ingredient list, which is always on the bottom of your nutrition facts panel, if the first two ingredients are sugars or some type of sugar, which you can use the app to figure out if there are, then it's probably just too much sugar.
Okay, thank you so much. Now we're going to take a quick break, but after the break, you're going to break down some diet tricks or tips and myths, right?
Sure.
Thank you. Don't go anywhere because we'll be back with Dr. Amy Lee as we talk about dieting after the break.